Hey, Randy Joe here, and welcome back to the channel, where today we are going to do something a little different. We're going to step outside the usual, formula of the channel of listening to new releases and, current, I guess you would say, discographies that I'm diving into. We're going to take a detour and listen to the debut album from the great late D'Angelo, who just passed away, unfortunately, just last month. A hard-hitting, death for me personally, because I really do love his album Voodoo. I covered it on the channel last year as part of my Soul September series, and I was a huge fan of that record, and I still listen to it to this day. And I do think the track Untitled, How Does It Feel, the second to last track off that album, is a perfect 10 out of 10 track. I think it's phenomenal. I still listen to it. It is just an incredible soul, R&B, neo-soul track that is, in my opinion, quite timeless with its energy and just atmosphere that he brings to the table there. Like I said, today we're listening to the debut record of his, Brown Sugar, because I have not yet heard it, nor have I heard Black Messiah, which of course we will cover next, in the following videos. So subscribe if you want to see that one as well. But like I said, today, kicking it off, the first album of his, of just 3 that he released in his lifetime, that being Brown Sugar. This one's sitting at 10 tracks, 53 minutes and 14 seconds. A pretty lengthy project, I would say, at least for a debut. Really kicks it off strong. And I'm kind of interested to see what this sounds like, because this was almost a decade prior to Voodoo, I think about 8 or so years. And then, of course, he took another break before releasing Black Messiah, again, taking 13, I believe, or 14 years roughly to release that record. So, again, he definitely took his time between releases. I feel like he was someone who cared quite a bit about quality more than he did quantity. And it's unfortunate that he passed just recently due to pancreatic cancer. So it's unfortunate, though, that we never heard a 4th record. But still, kicking it off, Brown Sugar, the title track, kicking off the album. Let's go. Love that. Was that an organ? That funky.
Let me tell you about this girl. Maybe I should. The way that we kiss isn't like any other way that I be kissing. What I'm kissing, what I'm missing. Won't you listen?
Similar to Voodoo, definitely has a hip-hop DNA still within the mix.
Brown sugar, babe. I guess high up your love, I don't know how to behave. You love me right down to my knees. And whenever you let me hit it,
love his voice. Very
like honey when it comes to me.
Very sweet and soulful, as expected from the soul genre especially. But D'Angelo, to me, really channels like that old-fashioned, almost kind of like 60s, 70s-esque soul, while bringing it up a notch to a very 90s gritty appeal.
Skin is caramel with the cocoa eyes. Even got a big sister by the name of Chocolate Top. Brown sugar, babe. I guess high off of love, don't know how to behave.
Also gives me a bit of a Prince vibe as well. These keys are phenomenal on this one. I thought it was some sort of organ, but I think it's an electronic keyboard.
Brown sugar got me open. Now I want some more. Always down for my but I think I'm here to solo. Hold my niggas don't mind.
Oh, it looks like, if I'm not mistaken, the drum programmer on this one is the drum work is done, as well as lyrics as well being added by one half of A Tribe Called Quest, that being Ali Muhammad.
Stick out my tongue and I'm about ready to hit this pretty bitty with persistence. Yo, I don't think y'all hit me.
Not sure who's on the keys here, but they're doing a fantastic job as well. They had a nice solo in that midpoint. Love the way this one kind of plays out. Just a real kind of mellow and jammy nature to this outro. Incredible, just funky and soulful opening. Not much more to say about it. I just think it's got a nice, catchy, great rhythm to it all. It really showcases D'Angelo's talent of bringing the neo soul sound into a much more 90s kind of hip hop orientation. Here's All Right on this one. Oh, right into that bass. Had a little bit of a almost like dub flair to it. Love that kind of lo-fi sound too. In comparison to Voodoo, which is really the only album of his, I have any sort of reference to, I gotta say this one's a lot more kind of funk infused, which I'm certainly enjoying the deeper grooves and the much more kind of like heavy bass lines to it all. A lot more funk. Love his backing vocals on here. Really great, some just gorgeous self-harmonizing. Oh, really getting into this groove here. Love that sample, that lo-fi appeal to it all, that drop. One thing I love about D'Angelo, he's doing it here. He loves to let a track really sink in and take its time. And they kind of just transform almost into a kind of jammy sort of nature. Beautiful one. What a laid back, soulful, kind of jazzy-esque as well. Just jam that was. Let's go into track 3 here. Don't want to mispronounce that one. Jones in My Bones? God, it's got to be it, eh? Can't be Johns in My Bonds. Oh, God, these bass lines are so thick when they come in. Up against such a gentle, kind of glimmering, almost like wood-like aesthetic. Maybe he's a bit down in the dumps on this one. All instruments by Give it a pause. Give it a pause. Wow. I had no idea. So these keys that we've been hearing throughout, that I've been so interested from the first track alone, wondering who was on these keys. It's none other than D'Angelo himself, which I should have cut on to, but man, this dude performs, from what I gather here, according to the Wikipedia here, the all instruments by D'Angelo, musical arrangements by D'Angelo, all vocals D'Angelo, with really only Ali Muhammad from Tribe Called Quest coming in to aid in support, it seems, at least in the bulk of the tracks. So this man really does it all on his LPs. Which, other than the drum work, I mean, I feel like the drums really just kind of set up the backbone of the track. And then D'Angelo just kind of creates this groovy rhythm and monster on top of it all. Beautiful. Just an absolutely gorgeous groove on this one. Once again, you know, those first two tracks, incredibly gorgeous instrumentals that just jam out. This one of the same. I feel like so far this album is maybe less structured in a sense compared to Voodoo, maybe less direct with some of the kind of messaging or maybe some of the kind of goal of each track. Whereas, you know, each track here feels like they are a little bit more jammy and explorative and almost improvisational. I wonder if there was a sense of improv when creating this record. Me and Those Dreamin' Eyes of Mine is this one here. A little bit of a boy band-esque sort of delivery. So clean and jazzy with it as well. So smooth. Kind of reminds me of the track Just My Imagination by, I want to say The Temptations, but I could be completely off base there. Still, if you're familiar with the song, it's about a guy who is kind of letting his imagination run wild as he looks at this girl, falling in love with this girl in his head. And this kind of follows suit the same message in theme. You know, here, is it just that you're the finest little thing that I ever saw, or is my imagination running too far? You know, something that reminds me, very reminiscent, feels like a spiritual successor of sorts. Like a neo-soul funk kind of detour from that track. A very sensual cut from D'Angelo, no surprise there. The man really set a mood, that's for sure. Easily one of the most accessible so far of the batches of tracks that we've heard so far. This one is really funky and catchy, and probably my favorite of the batch so far. Just such a fun and upbeat sort of cut. Oh. Incredible delivery and vocal harmonies with himself. Really sucking you in here. Oh, and we're getting even better here. Getting a funky guitar. A shorter track, yet still just as packed with details. So good I went to like it twice. What a infectious track that was. Let's go into track 5. Shit Damn Motherfucker. That's the name of this one. Tell us how you really feel, D'Angelo. Oh, I just saw the lyrics here. His woman a little promiscuous. Love the keys on this whole album. So groovy.
I just can't believe my eyes. My best friend and my wife.
It's really losing his cool, yet still sounding completely in check. Betrayed by his woman and best friend. I feel like it's a tale as old as time at this point. Catch them in the act, it would seem. Oh. He's gonna kill them. I've never heard someone sound so cool and chill in the face of you know, being cheated on with your best friend present. Pretty nonchalant reaction, I guess. What a like jazzy, smooth, cool air on this one too. Very kind of lounge-esque. Commits a crime of passion. You know, really appropriate title though, given the fact that the story really is one of just complete shock and awe, I guess. Man, I love how down-tempo that one was. Very, like, just relaxed, despite the situation being one of such tensity. You know, most of this track list has been really chill and relaxed, no matter the subject matter. I love how down-tempo it all is. Speaking of which, let's go into Smooth, which I'm imagining to be another smooth, soulful track. But maybe this will be a bit of irony. Ooh, some jazzy skittery drums to open it. Oh, a bit more of a hip-hop beat on this one. Great keys, too. Man's got to control those urges, those impulses, creeping up on him. Love his vocals throughout the entire album. Just so many different layers to it, so many different ranges that he pushes to. I feel like it's more varied vocally than that of Voodoo. I mean, maybe I should give Voodoo even more listens, but I feel like I've heard it many, many times since that first reaction on the channel, especially recently, of course. And I feel like the vocals on this album are a little bit more diverse and layered. It certainly fits the much more kind of laid-back atmosphere. Love those strings in the background there. Feel very cinematic underneath it all. Really like that one again. Not a lot to say about it. It's just another great, gorgeous, slow-building instrumental. Very smooth, like the track would suggest, of course. But nothing too, distinct to point out necessarily. Just love the vocal arrangements on it. Here's Cruisin'. Oh, I like those strings. Reminds me a lot of, actually, you know what? A lot of this album kind of feels like I wonder if D'Angelo took influence from Mr. Isaac Hayes, the late, great Isaac Hayes, once again. Another incredible soul musician gone too soon. But I really feel like I get strong Isaac Hayes vibes from, majority of these tracks, but especially some of the string work that's coming in, like that opening of this one here. Kind of like that hot buttered soul era. Again, laying on that sensuality quite thick. Love that jingle. It's gone just like that. I had a feeling. This is definitely, I feel like, a strongly influenced track from Mr. Isaac Hayes. I feel like that is what he was attempting to challenge, maybe as a tribute on this one. Oh, especially the string work. Oh my god. Not shying away from just the bluntness of it all. That is true. A very sweet song, you know, very sensual but still romantic in its messaging. And similar to that of an Isaac Hayes too. It really just like takes off and explores its sound. It gets just incredibly extended. And has that kind of rising tone to it all. Definitely feels like a strongly influenced track by that, of course, Isaac Hayes. Incredible. Cruisin' might be... I was going to say it might be the best one on here, but I feel like I could say that for quite a few tracks. Me and Those Dreamin' Eyes of Mine are also incredible. Cruisin', though, love the direction it takes. Shit Damn Motherfucker is also great. Really just every track is great so far. When We Get By is the next one. No track that has really disappointed me. I also like the more jazzy nature a lot of this LP takes on. You know, less hip hop like Voodoo and more jazzy. And a lot of these tracks are quite lengthy, most of them reaching around 6 minutes. But the pacing of them all, the way they grow and evolve, feels so natural that you don't even notice the runtime. Does not show a bassist on here, but there's a very clear, strong, it sounds like a stand-up bass, to be honest. Is it by D'Angelo as well? If it is, I'm even continually more impressed with the instrumental talent this man had. Love how like apparent that stand-up bass is. Again, feels like a classic kind of cool jazz track. Oh, hold on. Here's a trumpeter. What do we got on the trumpet? Bassy Bob Brockman. Much more sudden, kind of jolty energy to this trumpet than I'm used to. Another solid one that's just, I mean, this one is like just straight up jazz, really. It is like a full-on jazz track that drops almost all R&B elements, other than, I would say, his kind of performance, his vocals feel very R&B infused, but for the most part, like, that's a full-on jazz track. Loved how just clear and to the point it was with the stand-up bass as well throughout. It sounded like a stand-up bass at least. And that trumpeter as well, again, adding that last bit of jazz flair to it all. A little bit of a repetitive track lyrically. It's not necessarily as, narrative focused as some of the other tracks here, but still, like any good jazz track, the lyrics don't necessarily even matter. Here is Lady. I believe it's the most popular off this LP. Maybe Brown Sugar is as well, but I know this one is quite familiar. Deep grooves right off the bat. Staking his claim here. Love how deep those bass lines are. So funky with it. Maybe a little bit, maybe he's a little bit more protective and insecure about the relationship than he's letting on, because is it true that everybody wants this girl? Probably not, but like a typical, guy in love, it's fair to assume that everybody wants your woman as much as you do. But maybe in this case, maybe they really do. Who knows? Maybe she is just that fine, Even that "I know I love you and you love me" line feels like it's got a sense of maybe insecurity in it. Like he's trying to convince himself. Just love the kind of slow rocking nature of this one. Such a nasty groove, that bass line, those claps. Such a catchy and just instantaneous sort of track. Alright, let's go into higher. Final track. Lady was fantastic. Let's close it out with a 5.5 minute track here. Maybe we're gonna get religious on this one. Feels like heaven is the first line here. Oh, and a bit of an organ as well. Maybe a bit of a gospel touch. Oh, I think we're going... Oh. Never mind. Different direction than I expected. Maybe that Jones and his Bones is back there. Yeah, some more religious lines spliced into the mix. Oh, just another gorgeous, sensual love track once again, as expected from the man. And he's getting quite soulful and almost gospel in his approach. Oh, that elevation. Really taking it away there. Love that funky guitar too on top here. And that organ just wails out sporadically. We're gonna have a bit of a long fade out perhaps with this gorgeous ending. As if that love never really ends. What a beautiful kind of gospel tinged, soulful track that was. Really, Erykah Badu trying to start up here. But that does it for Brown Sugar. I gotta say, that final one, Higher, love the way it just kind of shot up towards the back end, especially getting real gospel vibes as well. It feels like we were in some sort of sensual sermon, perhaps. But I gotta say, Brown Sugar as a whole, incredible. On par with Voodoo for sure. I thought Voodoo was a phenomenal album. I still think it is. It is one of the best R&B albums I've ever heard. Does a great job splicing in hip-hop quite smoothly, and really is just a near perfect album in my eyes. And I would say Brown Sugar, on a first listen at least, is either on the exact same level or is not far off, because, unlike Voodoo, which I felt like was a little bit more structured in a lot of the songs, was a lot more, I don't want to say traditional because that sounds like a negative, but it does follow a little bit more of a typical structure one might expect from most of the tracks. The track list on here is a lot more improvisational, it sounds like. It feels like they are a lot more jammy. Everything kind of plays out to some great lengths on here, some reaching past the 6-minute mark, and most really being around 5.5 minutes. Is already pretty long for most songs. And throughout this album, as they reach those last couple minutes on most of these tracks, they really just let it jam out. D'Angelo just lets things play out and go into some really interesting directions and explore the very groovy and funky sound that inhabits most of this record. A very sensual sound, a very romantic sound, which is, I feel like, a big trademark of D'Angelo's, and it is done right here on his debut in spades. It's done perfectly. No bad song here. There wasn't really a single song I didn't like. I thought they were all very unique and original. Some were much more jazzy. For example, When We Get By was a straight up, in my opinion, jazz track, let's be honest. While some were a little bit more hip-hop infused, maybe that of a Brown Sugar, for example, or even Jones in My Bones, perhaps. Me and Those Dreamin' Eyes, I thought was a really great kind of throwback sound to it, as well as Cruisin' feeling like an Isaac Hayes cut. And then Higher, bringing in the kind of gospel influences. I feel like we got a wide array of really soul kind of, motifs and soul trademarks, and done so in spades. This feels like a tribute to soul musicians and soul genre as well. Just kind of a lot of trademarks being kind of brought into the mix and honoring them, while making it feel very laid back and jammy and kind of 90s as well, with D'Angelo's sort of futuristic flair that he adds onto things. Makes it a little bit more modern in its approach, while still, again, honoring the legacy that is, the soul music that he's honoring. Nothing negative to say. He sounds fantastic. His layering, his vocals being laid, I should say, sound wonderful at all times. I think he provides a great backing vocal to himself and has some really unique arrangements on his vocals. And the fact that he plays the majority of the instruments on here is also really impressive, especially for a debut. Just shows how talented he was right from the get-go. This was not something that he, kind of established as the discography grew. He was clearly a talented individual from the very get-go, which I think really works wonders given the fact that he only put out an album once per decade roughly, and in doing so, put a certain sense of quality into his work rather than a quantity approach. So, like I said, talented musician right from the beginning, and just, seems like with every album was able to just perfect a sound that he was aiming to achieve. And Brown Sugar certainly masters the kind of jammy, more atmospheric, soulful tribute act that it seems to aim for. So, Brown Sugar, phenomenal. But that does it for today's video. If you liked the video, please hit like and subscribe to listen to more albums alongside myself. Of course, we're going to check out Black Messiah pretty soon on the channel, probably in the next video, if not the one after, where we will, of course, close out the 3-album discography of D'Angelo's. If you want to see Voodoo get a reaction, I already did it last year. for Soul September. So I will go ahead and link that down in the description below as well. And if you want to see this video completely unedited, you want to get the full extent of the album and listen to it alongside myself, check out the Patreon. For just $5 a month in my description below on the Patreon, you get every single album reaction I have done since the beginning of this year onwards for just $5. So that's D'Angelo, that's Bjork, that's Pink Floyd that I've listened to in full with their discography, and just a plethora of new albums as well. But as always, my name is Randy Joe. I appreciate you watching, and I'm signing off.